Hey my YouTube friends and family, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. In today's video, I'll be talking about some things you need to think about before buying land in Jamaica. Alright, so if you or anyone that you know is thinking about buying land, I need you to watch this video, share this video with them, like this video, and if you're not yet a part of the family, I ask that you consider subscribing. So let's just get into it. I have 10 tips, so get your notepads out, take notes, and watch my other videos. All right guys. So the first tip on the list is never buy land without actually seeing the title. So that's self-explanatory right there. Before you buy the land, make sure so the person actually have ownership for the land in the form of a title. Have your attorney verify the ownership, having checked for any liens or any disputes associated with the land. However though, I know some people will talk about this and say they have actually bought land without titles. And yes, there are some cases that you will actually buy land without the title. For example, if it's a development, if it's a new development, and the owner does not have the titles ready. In cases like that, just ensure that you have an experienced real estate lawyer that knows what he or she is doing, and also he or she can confirm that the seller actually has legal rights to sell. Because not because the person is telling you something or them tell us a yes, them have piece of land to sell, that doesn't mean that they have legal rights to sell. So a next thing to bear in mind as well is understanding the risk and additional steps needed to secure ownership if you do decide to buy a piece of property without any title. And let me break that down for you a little bit. So buying land without a title doesn't mean that somebody has scammed you. But it usually means that you're going to take some extra steps to own that piece of land. So just bear in mind that you're going to have to spend more in legal fees, and it might take a little bit longer to get the title than what it usually would take. And also, just bear in mind something might go wrong. You have to prepare your mind for that. So that's what I mean when I say just prepare yourself for some additional risk. And also, final thing, avoid paying the full purchase price without, you can't pay the full amount of money without actually getting some legal protection. You have to have some legal protection before you go hand over all your money. So tip number 2, make sure so you visit the property more than once. Visit property more than once, and this is very important because you might go there in the dry season and everything looks fine, but next time when you go there, in the rainy season, you notice the land flood out, the land is prone to flooding, and the land not drain water good and stuff like that. So you want to ensure that you go there during the dry season. You want to ensure that you go there during rainy season so that you know, so yes, this property is not prone to flooding. The next thing to think about when you do the site visit or when you visit the property is to look out for adjoining properties. What's next door to the land? Is it a bar? Is it some kind of party venue? Is it a church? You have to think about noise when you live there long term. So these are things to think about when you actually go do the visit. So number 2, like I said, visit the property more than once to see the drainage, how well it drains, and also what's adjoining the property, what's close by. So you want to ensure that when you live here, you will be comfortable. This is a long-term thing. You'll be comfortable. Your investment will be protected. So tip number 3, this is get a recent survey. So don't just rely on old boundary markers or someone else's word. If the person said it's 1 acre, don't just go by what this person says. Actually have a licensed surveyor go there and do a survey so that you will have your own surveyor's diagram. Also, to ensure that the boundaries are accurate and you're getting the accurate amount of land this person is selling you. The next thing you want to check for is utility. So that's number 4. Check for utilities. You want to ensure that you have access to electricity. You want to ensure that there's water, and you want to ensure that there's internet in this area before you actually purchase land. So very important. You don't want to purchase a piece of land not because it's cheap, but you want to ensure that when you actually purchase this land, you'll be able to access basic utilities like water, electricity, and internet. Number 5, confirm legal road access. And this is very important. Have you ever seen a piece of property and there's no road access? Can you imagine that? You go buy land somewhere and you can't even drive to your property. So very important, guys. Please confirm that there's legal road access to this property. I want to say legal, not because you see a road there. Don't assume so this is the legal road there. You want to ensure that it is legal, not just word of mouth, or not because you see the road there, like I said. Because over time, when you purchase this land, the adjoining landowners might change their mind. Next thing you know, you can't even get to your property because this person way off them place, and you're now left without access to your piece of land. So ensure that you have legal access to get to your property. So tip number 6, this is very important, understanding the topography of the land. So this relates to the steepness, to how steep the land is, to how steep or gentle the slope is. So very important, because what if what you have in mind, this property is too steep and it won't fit on the land. So that's very important, guys. And also, like I've told you in previous videos, building on a steep slope can end up costing you way more than if you were to build on a flat piece of land. So go and do your assessment and understand the topography of the land. If it's too steep, just bear in mind that this is going to end up costing you way more than if the land was actually flat. So just understand topography before you actually make a purchase. So number 7, knowing what can be built on the land. So the title is going to outline what can be built and what cannot be built on the land. So if you look at the title, if you have, let's say you have a commercial building in mind, you want to build a commercial building on this property, the title will outline whether it can be built or whether it cannot be built. Also, if you want to do let's say you want to do a multi-family dwelling, you want to do an apartment building, let's say it's in a development, more than likely, if you look on the title will tell you that no multi-family dwelling cannot be built on this property. So bear that in mind as well, because I know a lot of people are thinking about an investment property. You're thinking about an Airbnb, you're thinking about an investment property. So before you actually go ahead and pay any money, you want to ensure that you look on the title and know what can be built on the land before going ahead and making a purchase. Number 8. So very important to think about the budget. Don't just think about the price of the land. Don't think about the purchase price of the land. You also have to budget for legal fees. You have to think about transfer fees. You have to think about site clearing. Also, you have to think about fencing. And if you do decide to go ahead and purchase a lot that is steep, that has a steep slope, just bear in mind also you're gonna have to think about a retaining wall. You're gonna have to think about road access. You're gonna have to think about doing site preparation, earthwork, getting an excavator or heavy equipment to do digging and all of that. So just bear in mind that you might have to spend more than what you initially saw the price of the land for, or what you saw the land listed for. So think about the budget, think about paying more than what the land was initially listed for. Number 9, think about your long-term goal. Why are you buying this land? Over the next 10 years, what use will I have for this land? Think about it in the sense of, will I be able to use this property for an investment? Will I be able to build an apartment building? Will I be able to use it as an Airbnb? Will I be able to do farming? So before you actually buy land, you want to think about all of these things. The use of the land in the next 10 years, next 15 years, 20 years. So think about the long-term goals of what you have in mind for this property. Number 10, and this is really important, take your designer or a building contractor to the property so that they look on the land, they will walk on the land, they will get a sense of what can be built on the land. And this is separate and apart from the restrictive covenant I was talking about. But bear in mind that properties, you're going to have certain setbacks from the boundaries of the land and from the road and all of that. So a designer, when he sees a surveyor's diagram and when he actually goes on site, at least he will know what type of building can be built on this, and what size house or building can be built on the property. So it's very important to have a contractor, have a builder, or have an architectural designer or architect or engineer go on the land, and they will determine what type of house or what type of building can be built on this property. So very important, guys, because I know recently I saw a YouTube video where the gentleman purchased land. When he actually went to the parish council, he had in mind an apartment building with 6 units, but after going to the municipal council, he was advised that this property will not be able to hold 6 units but only 4 units, because remember, you have to take in consideration parking, you have to take in consideration sewage, and you have to think about the setback from the road and setback from the adjoining boundaries. So just have an architectural designer or architect go on the property and present him with the survey's diagram so that he will determine what can go on this property before you actually spend your money, because you don't want to have a 10 unit or a 6 unit, or you don't want to have a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom house, and when you purchase the land you realize that your dream cannot fit on this property. So you want to actually look into these things before you're actually spending your money. So very important, guys. Have someone come out who knows about these things come out and actually look at the land and examine the land before you actually make a purchase. So these are my 10 tips. Let me know if they make sense to you. If so, if you're not yet a part of the family, please consider subscribing to the channel, like this video, share this video with a friend, and for those of you who has been watching me over the months, over the years, if you want to support the channel, please, I'm asking you to become a channel member. It's something simple. It's down below. You can click the button join to become a part of the family even more. So you are already a part of the family, but if you want to be more of a family, just consider joining the channel. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video.